All right, here we go. Welcome to another Coach's Corner. And Coach, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what coach you sport or what sport you coach.
Yeah, well, there somewhere in there. My name is Kenny Walters, and I coach the UHS girls softball.
All right. And how long have you coached that sport here at university?
I guess you would say what 9.25 years. It's,
9.25 years.
yeah,
Why
we
don't you explain that to us?
didn't quite get the 10th year in. We got 6 games into our 24 game season, so I've been here since the
Okay.
beginning.
All right. And how many total years do you have in coaching softball?
I would say around 19 coaching softball.
Okay. And the other 10 plus years, where did they come from?
They came from. We started in Little League actually at Orange City Little League, and we kind of built that program up. They didn't even have a softball field. So we got it to where there was a softball field, and we started when Shelby was, I think, 6, 7 years old.
Okay. And so you've been around here. I know this, but you've been in the area forever
Basically, yes.
as a kid, and
Yeah, we've been in Orange City here for 29 years, and then previous to that, I was lived up in DeLeon Springs.
okay. Um, and as a kid yourself, what sports were you into?
I played anything with a ball. It didn't matter. It could be racquetball, it could be tennis. If it had a ball, I was all in. I could play it pretty well.
All right. And then in high school, what sports did you get into?
I played football, basketball, and baseball in high school.
Okay. And I really don't know this one. Was there anything beyond high school for you?
There was not. I grew up with basically a single parent mom, and college was not ever discussed in our household, and so none of us four boys were able to get to college.
Okay. All right. And as a coach, what is one of your more memorable occasions as a coach?
As a coach, I would have to say it was my first year coaching at University High School, and we went down there and won the district championship at Vieira, and they were a really good team, and it was raining, and I had a 5 foot tall pitcher that could barely hold the ball, but was able to do well enough to get a victory for us.
Okay. And as an athlete in any of the sports, what's one of your more memorable moments?
Um, I got a couple. The one was in high school where we were able to go up there and play Jacksonville Bulls in a regional game. And I got to play against Rick Wilkins, who ended up being a Chicago Cubs catcher. And they beat us 1-0. I had a RB. Well, I had a base hit. The runner got thrown out of the plate, which would have been the tying run for that. And then the other one was as an adult, we played in a actual World Series softball, men's softball, and we came in second place out of 50 something teams.
Oh,
There was
wow.
teams from all over the world, Germany. I don't remember the other countries, but we played Germany, but we lost our first game on Friday morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, and we had to play 8 games Saturday, and then 8 games Sunday, and we ended up taking second place. And I was the defensive MVP for that tournament.
That's a, that's a lot of softball.
It was a lot of softball. That was
Eight games, 2 days in a row.
back when we
Man.
were young and we could get away with doing that stuff.
Right. Right. Um, and I know that just because I know that some parents and some people from our generation will be watching this video. At least I hope they will. I know that you grew up next door to someone who some folks might know the name. And do you care to share that name with us?
Oh yeah, I don't mind. Yes, when I was started in Little League, and I was on Don Page Agency, and there happened to be a kid named Ricky Butkus that was on the team as well, and we became good friends. And then a few years later, I ended up moving up to De Leon Springs, which was probably half a mile from their house through the woods. And we went over there and hung out with Dick Butkus quite a bit, and was able to do quite a bit of, I don't know if you remember the light beer superstars way back when,
No.
where all the different sports figureheads would get together in Miami and they would do a competition. And I was able to go down there with them and watch a Super Bowl with Dick Butkus and hang out with Reggie Jackson and Billy Martin and all those guys. So it was pretty fun, pretty cool, good memories.
Yeah, to me, that just sounds like really cool. I mean, again, you, your athletes may scratch their head and say, "Who's Dick Butkus?" Yeah, I've never heard that name, and what kind of joke are you telling me here or whatever. But
Right,
I
right.
just, as I've told you before, and did you have, did you as a kid, did you have any clue who Dick Butkus was?
I knew who he was because I saw all the memorabilia all over the place. One thing that sticks into my mind is he had a big blown up picture of him going after Fran Tarkenton, and Fran Tarkenton was pointing his finger, and it was right by his face mask, and I ended up hearing that Dick Butkus actually bit his finger, so that was kind of cool. But I just knew that he was pretty famous, but not till I got older did I realize how famous he was.
Right, right. That like I said, to me, that's just pretty dang cool. It really
Yeah, and,
is.
and I talked to you. I think I told you that about a month ago. His son, which was Matt Butkus, came by the school. He looked me up after the Kobe thing because he wanted to reconnect with people he knew from his childhood. So he actually looked me up, and I actually had a meeting with you that day. And as I was walking out through the bus loop, here comes this vehicle coming down the bus loop, and I stopped him. I said, "Hey, what are you doing? Where are you going?" And it turned out to be Matt Butkus. He came down there to see me.
You did tell me about that.
Yeah,
Yeah, you told me you were about ready to
yeah.
throw somebody out of the bus loop, and they
I
were just there looking for you.
Yeah, I was questioning him. I
Yeah,
said, "Hey, what are you doing? You can't come down here." And he's like, "Well, I'm going to your practice." I said, "Oh, okay."
right, right. Yeah, that's pretty neat.
It
And
is very.
I know that you went to Pearson Taylor High School, and obviously at that time it was even a smaller school then than it is now as far as population goes,
Right.
and just comparing what you remember then to what you know now as university and with Allie going to university. Um, do you think that there's differences, but if you could somehow I don't know, go back in time, so to speak, or put yourself in today's world, do you think that Kenny Walters would have, I don't know, done better or would have rather went to a big school like university versus a small school like Pearson Taylor?
Um, I think I would prefer the smaller school. I'm not a look at me type of person. So that way you know everybody, you know what's going on all the time. I think in the big schools I would have been lost. So I really appreciated it and I liked it. I lived a mile outside of the DeLand, the border for going to DeLand High School, and I was pretty happy I didn't go to DeLand High School and went to Pearson.
Yeah, definitely a big difference, I'm sure.
It is a huge
I
difference.
I remember, yeah, I remember going to because I went to DeLand. I remember going to Pearson for some sporting events, and as as a student at DeLand, going to Pearson and just looking around, thinking, "Is that it? Is that the whole school?"
Right, correct. And it was fun
It
because,
was
playing
a big
baseball, football,
difference.
and everything, the town folk that didn't even have people playing there would go to the games and they'd all know you and they'd be talking to you like they've known you forever. So the small town feel was great because you had fans watching that didn't have kids playing. So that was really cool.
Yeah, that part's definitely cool, and that I'll even give a little shout out right now to Miss June, who we all know and love. Because for those of you who don't know who I'm talking about, Miss June is our wonderful volunteer who's always taking tickets at all of our sporting events. She's someone that doesn't really have any connection to our school, but her and her husband who moved to the area. Heck, I guess it's been a while ago now because her daughter actually graduated from DeLand High School, before university was there. But they love University High School, and Miss June loves coming and volunteering at University High School. And heck, during certain times of the year, there's 5 nights a week where she's there taking tickets with a smile on her face. And I couldn't do what I do if it wasn't for Miss June.
Yeah,
I'm a little bit nervous about this coming year because her husband actually retires, and I hope that doesn't mean that that Miss June is retiring from volunteering, because if so, I'm gonna be in trouble.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
Miss June, love you, Miss June.
She's a great lady, a very nice lady. We love to see her down there. And like you said, she's always got a smile on her face, and she's cheering us on, and asking how well everybody's doing. So, yeah, she's a good lady.
Yep, and she's kind of the perfect person for that small town feel like you were talking about too, because she knows these kids,
Right,
and
right.
she keeps up with especially the baseball and the softball kids, like beyond high school. Like, she'll tell me things about the kids after high school. Are a handful of kids that have went on to baseball, beyond high school. She'll start telling me stats and the teams that they're on, and which level they're at. And
Right,
I'm amazed. I wish I could keep up with them, but I
right,
can't.
right. Yeah, it gets
uh,
difficult, but
yeah,
she does a
yeah,
good job. Yeah,
she
she's
does.
well
She's
liked.
awesome.
Yeah, well
No
liked.
doubt. No doubt. Back to Coach Walters. But let's see. And what's one thing that you hope that your athletes get from being part of a Coach Kenny Walters coached team?
Well, we try to help them with life. We try to instill in them that it's more about non-softball stuff than it is about softball stuff. We've been pretty successful. We've had good athletes, but we try not to harbor on wins and losses, rather than making them a better person for the rest of their lives. Because as softball is only going to last them so long. If they're lucky, they get to go play in college. But there's, you know, really not a pro league for them. So we try to prepare them for life, whether it's college, whether it's the military, whether it's going to go find a job. So we try to do a lot of preparing for non-softball related things.
And what's the best part about working at university?
Well, I watched a lot of your other videos. Mine's more of a selfish thing, because we have been here for 29 years. We did start the Orange City Little League softball program, and I had opportunities to go coach at DeLand with Coach Mitchell. And when I knew that university was coming up, and I heard the other people that might be trying to be the head coach, I thought I couldn't let that happen to the kids that were coming in. So mine is pretty selfish. I live here. It's 7 minutes down the road for me. So I want the community to excel with the softball program. So yeah, mine's a little bit more selfish than the other people that I've heard you talk about.
Right, right. And to your athletes and the parents and the community and anybody that might watch this, what would you like to say to them in this unique time?
Like I tell the kids all the time, you got to worry about your family first. You got to worry about, put softball on the back burner. A lot of these kids play so much that this time right now of rest is good for them. But worry about the things that really matter, which is your health, your family, and your academics. You know, softball is a very, very small portion of your life. So now's a good time to focus on your family and your friends and your academics.
All right, and here's the question you didn't get a chance to prepare for, so you haven't
Okay.
heard this yet.
Okay.
If you had the opportunity to have dinner with any four people, dead or alive, who would it be?
Wow. Dinner with four people, dead or alive. I guess two of them, once again, is pretty selfish. That would be my mom and dad. And I guess the third one would be Shelly's dad, because he passed away quite a long time ago. And the last one to me would be my childhood favorite baseball player ever was Willie Stargell.
Wow. Okay. I haven't heard that name in a long time. Yeah.
He was. I'm a diehard Pirates, Penguins, Steelers, and as a 10-year-old kid, 11-year-old kid, I watched as much Pirates as I could, and I just thought he was an awesome leader and a good teammate.
Well, all right. Well, Coach, you do you have anything else that you'd like to add, or something I didn't touch on, or whatever?
No, but I'd like to reiterate, for the kids and everything else to work on themselves, work on their family. This is a strange time. You get to spend a lot more time with your family. I'm sure a lot of the parents are pretty stressed out about having their kids around 24/7. But they need to worry about themselves now, and their family, and not worry about softball, not worry about their travel ball teams, and not worry about all of that stuff. Worry about being around the people that you love and that take care of you and that are going to be there for you.
Right. Totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
Totally agree. All right, Coach. Well, I thank you for your time, and stay safe.
Thank you, sir, and have a fantastic night.